Hey everyone, welcome back to Aliens on Turfs Gaming, and welcome back to another Dino Dossier spotlight and analysis for The Isle. And today we're having a look at the Austroraptor, and I actually really enjoy playing the Austroraptor. It's one of those dinosaurs that a lot of people kind of breeze through, but I really enjoy this guy. He's fast, he's lithe, he runs like how I expect a dinosaur to run. He's got a very bird-like gait. It's just something I really enjoy about playing this guy. But let's have a look at the dossier and see what kind of stuff is revealed about it. So the Austroraptor, is known as the Southern Thief. It was discovered by Novas in 2008? Holy crap, this guy is like... What? Oh, holy crap, 2017. So it's like 9 years old. Jesus, this thing is... This guy is a baby. It was around during the Cretaceous period, which is 70 million years ago. And I'm still floored by that. I forget the dinosaurs are still being discovered all the time. But that is incredibly close to today. In terms of dinosaur discoveries, anyway. Now let's have a look at the vital statistics for this guy. So up the top we can see the front view of the Austroraptor, and we can see that he's got some pretty damn powerful legs. But those flimsy little raptor arms aren't going to be useful for too much. Dietary requirement is it's a piscivore predator, which means it does rely on eating fish from its environment. That's what piscivore means. It means if you're a pescatarian, it means you only eat fish and vegetables. It's like being a vegetarian, except you don't eat meat. Essentially, it's just like being a meat eater, except you don't eat certain types of meat. The length of this guy is 5 meters. Its height is 3.5 meters, which means this guy is essentially the raptors from Jurassic Park. Apart from only eating fish, this guy would be a suitable replacement for those guys. Holy crap. Its weight class is small. It only weighs 300 kilograms. So that, you know, that's pretty damn small. Damage type is bleed, bite, and claw. So I think this is the first guy that's included claw damage, and we haven't really seen any dinosaurs really utilize claw damage. Well, I guess apart from the Austroraptor and the Utahraptor with both of their pounce attacks, but I would classify that more as a pounce rather than a claw attack. So it's interesting that they define his damage type with claw in this way. Its visual acuity has excellent night vision, which isn't exactly true nowadays, but you know, that's fine. Its sense of smell requires further study, so as usual, they haven't updated that. The temperament is aggressive, territorial, so this guy is going to chase you out of its territory if it needs to. It's going to fight you even if it doesn't need to, because it is territorial, it is aggressive, and it's big enough that it's going to hold its own. Its overall stamina is it's got a high metabolic rate, which means this guy does need to eat a lot. So he's going to need to keep finding food. He's going to need to keep hunting to maintain that 300 kilograms of muscle and meat and keep it running. So this guy's going to be eating all the time. He's going to be hunting smaller dinosaurs, hunting slightly larger dinosaurs in packs most probably, or just surviving off fish, which is its diet. But in-game, eating a lot of food. So its territory is the redwoods by looks of it. Raptors are highly adaptable, hunting ably in almost any environment. On the smaller end of the scale, Austroraptor can more readily hide in undergrowth for stealth attacks. So it's interesting that it doesn't actually mention the fish thing here, but it's more talking about how it hunts dinosaurs, which does echo what happens in-game. And that's, I think, quite a good adaptation. I like that they've included that. It's like the Austroraptor has been dropped into this environment it's not suited for and is having to adapt, which is something that's really cool. And I don't know what the actual story is behind the Isle. I'm waiting till the game comes out for that to actually be revealed properly. Like, I know that Dondi's been dropping hints like wildfire, and that the community's digging into these, but I like the idea of having it revealed when the game wants it to be revealed, rather than the devs. Kind of the same way why I don't like watching like tons of game trailers before games come out. I like knowing about what games are coming out, but I like seeing it once it's released to see how the actual game wants to tell its story, rather than someone who's very hyped about it. The combat notes for this guy, it's fast, cunning, deadly, and numerous, which makes it sound menacing as shit. I love that. So we've got figure 2 up here, which is a pack of Austroraptor close in on a distracted Diabloceratops. And that Diablo is just like spacing out. It's just looking at the horizon being like, yeah, this was a really fantastic day. I am glad I came for this stroll up onto this mountain, out into the open, when absolutely nothing could go wrong. And of course, the raptors take full advantage of that. And it's interesting that it's not a pack of Ostroraptors, it's a pack of Ostroraptor. I didn't actually know that it was not using the S in the plural. That's kind of cool. Ostro is slower than some of its relatives, being more adapted to fishing, but any small animal should still fear them. A hungry predator will not pass up a hot meal, and humans can easily be overpowered by an Ostro. These are also social animals living and hunting in packs. Be warned, being small means they can follow you indoors. So that's actually something that's really cool. If you've played the Isle recently, you'll know that the background for the main menu is an Allosaurus guarding some eggs near a corpse, essentially. But for a while back there was an intro that was just this somewhat unlit hallway. It was kind of only lit by like warning lights or electrical lights, I'm not sure. And every now and then, an Ostroraptor shadow would zoop right past the end of the corridor, and it was super creepy, super menacing, and I cannot wait to be that Ostroraptor hunting down humans in the Isle once humans are finally available. I know that like everyone's kind of excited to play the humans and go hunt at dinosaurs. Heck no, I am excited for the other way around. I am excited to terrify the shit out of all these pesky little meat bags and hunting them through the little catacombs and scaring them out of their hidey holes. I am looking forward to feasting on these humans once they're available. And I'm really glad that they kind of mentioned that, the hunting indoors and hunting down humans. So the weapons of choice for this guy is he's got a long toe claw, which is indicative of being a raptor. It's got long talons, which also indicates it's a raptor, and it's got a distinctively elongated snout. One thing that I find is really interesting about that is, you know, that is very typical of animals that are used to a pescatarian lifestyle. If you have a look at the difference between crocodiles in their snout shapes, you can see what type of animals they take down. If you have a look at an alligator versus a caiman, alligators have this very, very wide snout they use for taking down large prey. So they're looking at birds, looking at even other smaller reptiles. Whereas some, actually no, not caiman. I think it's a there's a species of crocodile. There's many species of crocodile actually, which have these very thin snouts, which themselves are not that powerful, but they're perfect for swishing through the water and picking up fish that swim past. It's also the same way with birds and a lot of the flying reptiles from the prehistoric periods. They had very thin, very basically their mouths were an anarchy of teeth, so they could hunt down fish quite easily just by swishing their mouths through the water. If you have a look at Rhamphorhynchus, that thing was freaking terrifying. I would hate to wake up with that thing in my room because just the shape of its mouth is nightmare enough. So the Ostroraptor had wings for making fast turns, so that is their justification for why this guy has feathers on his arms. So it's not for display, it's not for flying. Of course, this guy could not fly. With those pesky wings, it'd be just as flyable as a dodo or an ostrich. It does have a shaggy covering of feathers. It has long legs for sprinting and sharp curved toe claws. And a long tail, of course, to keep balance. And we can see it there next to a human. I think it's actually a lot smaller than it should be. I mean, if it's 3.5 meters tall, that is a freaking tall human. Holy moly. That is like taller than the tallest person who's ever lived. So I don't think this is quite indicative of how big this guy really is. The Ostroraptor would be somewhere up here for the actual height of him. And I'm guessing that it's judging its height from the kind of head crest that it's got up here. But overall, this is an impressive looking dinosaur. I like the way that they've drawn this version of the Ostroraptor because he looks menacing. He looks like he could deal out some damage. He looks like the type of dinosaur you would want to play. It doesn't look like it's just been taken from a screenshot from the game. They've just kind of traced over it. It is a recreation of him, and I'm really liking this guy. Let's have a look at the prey items though. So we've got 3 different types of fish here, which is really interesting because fish have not actually been brought into the game properly yet. They've been hinted at. There's stuff I think in the dev kit to kind of allude to the fish that are being added to the game, but it'll be interesting to see if they actually do add different types of fish. Maybe that's a cod, that's a salmon, that's some sort of weird ocean fish. Of course, like I'm wondering if they're prehistoric fish or modern day fish, depending on where the story goes for the Isle. But I do not know if they're going to give different food amounts, if they'll just be the same fish, just skinned differently, essentially. If you have to hunt them in different environments, if you can overhunt fish, you can't just sit by one lake and just fish for your entire lifetime, that sort of thing. But it's interesting that they have included 3 different types of fish here. That is a choice that they've made, so it's interesting to see where that will lead in the future. But fish are top of the menu. The long snout of Osteoraptor is ideal for snatching them out of the water. However, they can also tackle small land-based animals or even larger herbivores when working in packs. It pays to not be overly ambitious though, these are delicate hunters, and you really can see that. You can see that long snout that is ideal for hunting fish, and you can see that this guy is not packed full of muscle and meant to take a beating. It is not a T-Rex that is meant to crush animals with those massive muscular jaws. It is a light hunter. It is meant to take things down quickly before it can get damaged, or taking in bites and doing a hit and run tactic on these animals. It's really interesting to see that they've worked that into just about every aspect of this dinosaur, from what type of foods it does naturally eat to what type of foods it can take advantage of in the wild. It's really cool seeing that. But anyway, this has been the Osteoraptor. I like this dinosaur. I was actually super disappointed when he came out because this is back when I first ever played the Isle. I think the Osteoraptor had kind of just come out, and I just got the game, so I didn't even know it was a new dinosaur, but I saw the name Ostro, and I was like, oh my god, they've got an Australian dinosaur. I didn't know they had the Australovenator in there. And I was super excited because nobody ever includes Australian dinosaurs in anything ever. It's always like the Hell Creek Formation, or like other different Chinese dinosaurs or stuff from America, like, you know, Utah Raptor, Dakota Raptor, all those standard dinosaur types. But never does anyone ever look at Australian dinosaurs because they're just the fucking weirdest dinosaurs ever. I love them, but they're so unique, so cool, and I was disappointed when I saw that this game had the Osteoraptor and not the Australovenator. But that's fine, whatever, that was my mistake. But anyway, I'm going to leave this episode here. Thank you very much for watching another episode of The Isle Dossier Spotlight and Analysis, and I will see you next time when we have a look at the next dinosaur. Thank you, and bye-bye!